In this video, we're going to break down Season 1, Episode 11 of the BoonDocks television series entitled Let's Nab Oprah Winfrey and conclude if this was an intelligent move for Riley, Ed III, and Rummy. Before we get started on this historical breakdown, I just wanted to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm working on some new designs over at the Dispose Entertainment store. You see that new logo? Yeah, it's more where that came from. Remember, we still have a few of the 2022 grade fall designs on the store shelves. From tank tops to t-shirts to hoodies, we have it all. Special shout out to everyone that purchased some merch during the December 2022 sale. You helped me create some new designs for the spring and summer of 2023. If you would like to support the channel further and help with the funding of Dispose Entertainment, the link will be in the description. Now, let's get into it. Ed Wuncler III and Rummy plot to kidnap and dispose of Ms. Oprah Winfrey to take control over women with the help of Riley. Let's Nab Oprah is the 11th episode of the Adult Swim animated television series The BoonDocks. It originally aired on February 12, 2006.
Man, I don't get that.
Get what?
That texting shit.
And what's wrong with texting?
You mean aside from the fact that it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world? I mean, why would anyone in their right mind spend 15 minutes trying to type some shit they could have called and said in 5 seconds? Plus, it involves typing with your thumbs, which I just don't approve of. Shit. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to read nothing that a motherfucker type with his thumbs. Fun fact, nothing typed by someone's thumbs has ever been important. It's all just nigga technology anyway.
What you call it?
Nigga technology. Technology for nigga. When you don't start tripping and shit, call me a racist, because I don't mean nigga in a disrespectful way. I mean it as a general term for ignorant motherfucker. Anybody of any race can be an ignorant motherfucker.
Shit, I be texting my ass off. Shit, bitches like texting. I be texting them all the time. Matter of fact, I also be texting my weed man too, because you know he don't like to be on the phone, so I text him.
Case in point.
After a conversation involving texting, Ed and Rummy park their car near the bank. Riley approaches them, carrying a box filled with candy, asking if they would like to buy one to help inner city children. Rummy asks how much and Riley responds, "3, you hear that? I said 3. Riley successfully plays his part as the lookout. Ed and Rummy then run into the bank and Ed fires his gun into the air. They eventually are led to the bank safe. Ed and Rummy make it out of the bank with the spoils of the robbery and the bank manager as a hostage. Riley comments that the bank robbery would have been a failure if Ed's grandfather didn't own the bank, and the police the robbery took 22 minutes. As part of a running gag, Ed gets away with any criminal activity he does. The bank manager takes the money back inside, obviously used to this routine. After some conversation of the robbery in the car between Ed, Rummy and Riley, Ed, Rummy, and Riley then drive away. Presumably the next day, an intense fight between Huey and Riley breaks out. This fight started because Huey refused to let Riley go to Ed's house.
I'm going to Ed's house, and I said no! You little bitch! Oh.
The fight is nasty as Riley throws chairs and Huey is punching and kicking Riley so hard that Riley eventually falls down the steps.
What the hell?
I ain't doing nothing, Granddad. I was just gonna go to Ed's house, and Huey said I couldn't go because he a hater.
What the hell is wrong with you, Huey? If your brother wants to play with Ed and Rummy, that's his business.
Granddad, Ed and Rummy are international criminals. There he go, hating again.
Boy, stop hating.
What about the time time when Riley and Ed were playing with a loaded shotgun, and Riley shot Ed out of a second-story window.
Oh, that did happen, didn't it?
Okay, so just 'cause Ed believes in his Second Amendment right to bear arms, we can't be friends? What you got against the Bill of Rights, Huey? Okay, how about the time they stopped for gas and ended up robbing the mini-mart? They was fighting terrorism, making the world safe for the freedoms that we enjoy today. That's messed up. You don't support the troops, Huey.
Before the fight gets nastier, Granddad eventually stops the fight and lets Riley go. Once Riley is at Ed's house, Rummy tries to think up a new plan while Ed and Riley are playing video games on the PlayStation 2. The news segment shows up on the TV talking about a book signing Ms. Winfrey will be doing in Woodcrest after Ed destroys the game console. Rummy then decides that the group should kidnap Ms. Winfrey at her book signing. Meanwhile, Huey is getting suspicious about what Riley is doing with Ed and Rummy. Acting as a lookout, Riley eventually signals Ed and Rummy to start moving, and once Ms. Winfrey's bodyguard leaves her, Ed and Rummy, who are both heavily armed, start heading toward a bookstore and begin causing havoc there.
Get down! Everybody get down now!
Fly tight in a firefight during the current time with no coke.
Where's Oprah? Well, where's she at? Where's Oprah?
Wow, got a reverend style to get in.
Where's Oprah? G-Yow, bitch! Tell me what that bitch is. Tell me where Oprah is on the count of 3. I'm gonna kill the only bitch up in here.
This is too exciting.
That's real fucked up, Agnes. Found it. Body Snatcher 3 to Body Snatcher 2. Where are you?
We're in the bookstore. We're about to extract the package.
What bookstore?
The Borders, next to Starbucks.
Soon they carry off a woman from there despite Riley's unheard pleas that they had gone into the wrong bookstore.
Bitch!
Yeah, damn.
Once Ed and Rummy are in the truck, Ed gets a text message from Riley. Ed realizes that he and Rummy had kidnapped the wrong woman. They had actually kidnapped Maya Angelou. They dropped Maya off in the middle of the street. At Ed's pool, Riley and Rummy discuss about the intel received. Going over some videotape of one of Ms. Winfrey's bodyguard whom Riley saw at the bookstore, Rummy identifies that man as Bushido Brown. Riley asks who he is. Rummy replies that he's a bona fide bad motherfucker, that's who. He asks Riley if remembers seeing that episode with Ms. Winfrey making comments about beef. Riley says no, since he doesn't watch Ms. Winfrey's show. Rummy tells a story that a few years back, Ms. Winfrey said some shit on the show about beef Rummy believed it may have involved mad cow disease. Rummy explains that the Texas beef industry did not take it very well, so they hired Texas mercenaries to assassinate Oprah. Luckily, Ms. Winfrey hired Bushido Brown as a bodyguard to hold off the thugs. Though outnumbered, he easily defeated the mercenaries with little effort. There was only one man who was able to lay a hand on Ms. Winfrey's door, only to have lost it by Bushido Brown's sword. Rumors has it that Bushido Brown kept the hand. After a moment of silence, Ed breaks it saying that he may have shit himself. Jen claims that they can't just walk in there when Bushido Brown is there, and says that they need a new plan. He also tells Ed to change his pants. After some additional planning, they decide to attempt to kidnap Oprah at her studio. Right before Riley departs with Ed and Rummy to kidnap Oprah, Huey is able to find out about their plan. He gets ready to go and stop them. Ed, Rummy, and Riley find out they can't enter through the back door since guards are standing there once they arrive at the studio. Ed spots Huey nearby. Riley then places a prank call to the studio saying that a boy with a big stupid afro is coming to hurt Oprah. Alerted by this phone call, the guards move away from the door and Ed, Rummy, and Riley head into the studio. Huey gets engaged in a fight with Bushido Brown, and while this fight is going on, Rummy and the rest of the group navigate through the studio to get to Oprah's dressing room. Huey is apparently knocked unconscious after a decisive blow by Bushido Brown about the same time Rummy. Ed and Riley break into Bill Cosby's dressing room due to Ed and Rummy's sheer stupidity. Rummy and Ed decide to kidnap Bill Cosby, but return him 15 minutes later because he was too annoying. Later, Riley comes back for his two-way pager, but Huey hits him and drags him away. Before we conclude, I wanted to shout out our sponsor of this video, This Riz Entertainment. This Riz Entertainment LLC is an upcoming cinematic editing company that specializes in capturing high quality, realistic, and abstract images through a camera lens. Public service announcements, music videos, documentaries, web episodes, short films, commercials, and feature films, just to name a few. You can find them here on YouTube with multiple channels. This Riz TV Media Gaming Channel, This Riz Entertainment Cinematic Channel, and in the works, the This Riz Cinematic Reviews Channel. After this video, please take a look at these channels. You might see something you like. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're feeling fancy. Now back to the review. This episode was funny and I will watch it again because I am a BoonDocks fan. But I rate this episode a 10 out of 10, and it was fucking hilarious.
You got a problem with that, nigga?
Before y'all get all crazy in the comments section, you have to hear me out. The comedic punchlines from start to finish was funny as hell. Also, who in their right minds would try and kidnap the queens of queens, Ms. Oprah Winfrey. Lastly, the creators of the BoonDocks used so many lines in this episode that relates to our culture today, and famous lines from different movies that each actor has played a starring role in. Trivia time. Did you know? In the scene where Huey fights against Riley, Huey can be seen slightly smirking when pressing the blade of his katana against Riley's cheek. This is the first time he has been seen doing this in the series, as Huey hardly ever smiles. Also, this episode marks the first appearance of Bushido Brown. Jim Rummy's dialogue about nigga technology before the bank robbery is inspired by the conversation between Vincent, who is John Travolta, and Jules, who is Samuel L. Jackson before they kill Brett in Pulp Fiction. Rummy himself is also voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. The what conversation between Riley and Jim Rummy in the car from episode 5, A Date with the Health Inspector, is also inspired by Pulp Fiction, as the conversation is repeated almost verbatim. The title cards that introduce Riley, Ed, and Jim Rummy at the beginning of the episode mimic the technique used by director Guy Ritchie in his 2000 film Snatch. Jim Rummy says to Riley it's not wise to upset a Wuncler after both Ed III and Riley are arguing over the former's loss in the video game. This is a reference to the line, "It's not wise to upset a Wookiee" from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, quoted by Han Solo after R2-D2 defeats Chewbacca in a match of chess. This episode features the songs Raid, all caps, in Strange Ways by Madeline, which heavily samples progressive rock band Gentle Giant's song Funny Ways, which will not be played due to copyright. A character that resembles Dante, the main villain from the first Fullmetal Alchemist series, appears when Ed and Jim Rummy try to kidnap Oprah at the bookstore. You Come Straight Out of a Comic Strip is a reference to Enter the Dragon in the BoonDocks comic strip itself. This was one of the first episodes on which I gave a 10 out of 10. As a matter of fact, every episode that has Ed and Rummy starring has got a goddamn 10 out of 10 in my book. Leave a comment below if you're in your feelings and feel differently. I'm speaking on season 1 as for now, so don't be trying to finesse what I just said and relate it to some episode in whack ass season 4. Spoiler alert. That'd be much appreciated. Also, I would like to thank all of the new subscribers. Over the last month and a half, we currently have over 3,011 subscribers. Thank you all. Feel free to comment in the box and tell us what part of the world you are from. Thank y'all for liking the content. This motivates us to make more videos like this one here. Please be sure to smash that like button, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure your post notifications are turned on. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Also, what are you all looking forward to in future episodes? I'll be sure to answer that in the next video. I'd like to hear your thoughts on if I missed the mark on this video and other points I should have brought out in this review here. Share this video. I was told that it helps out the algorithm. We are trying to get our views up. We are asking for 200 likes to help take this channel to the next level. New review videos every Saturday and Sunday for more episodes. Enable alerts for this channel so you don't miss anything. If you enjoyed this video, click here for all of my affiliate channels and click here for what BoonDocks video might interest you next. Thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next one.